Welcome back to L'Amour et la Musique. Thank you so much for the very enlightening and enlivening discussion on my last video, which was my review of the August Beauty Heroes box featuring Josh Rosebrook, and I also took it as an opportunity to get into some deeper problematics that are going on right now. I have no intention of stopping discussions around this, but today we're just gonna have a fun beauty respite. We're gonna do a Mercedes shops. The impetus behind today is an order that I placed with the newly launched eco online boutique Pink Moon. So I never know out when I'm filming when you're gonna get a chance to see what I'm working on, just because so many unforeseen things come up. But on Monday, the 24th of August, on my podcast, Your Purpose is Beauty, I'm publishing an interview with Lynn Chen, who's the person behind Pink Moon. So I wanted to have the shopping experience. I know Lynn, I've met her in person before. She has been in the eco beauty space for a really long time, and several years ago started her own eco beauty brand consultancy, and she just launched her own e-commerce beauty and wellness site a couple of months ago. I am also partnered with Pink Moon along with a handful of other bloggers slash influencers, however people identify, to select a social cause of their choosing, of our choosing. If you, a shopper, chooses to use our codes, 10% of your order will be donated to the cause that we selected. So I donated 10% of my order to the License Center, which is the social cause of choice that I selected. So I want to tell you a little bit about that. And then there's a few other beauty things. I want to talk about in Fiore, because I had placed an order back at the end of June, the last time they had a gift with purchase, and I haven't really had a chance to talk about this stuff anywhere. And then I have some herb talk. I got an order from Mountain Rose Herbs and a new nutrition Chinese medicine book. Honestly, I haven't been doing a lot of beauty shopping, certainly not makeup shopping. I have been interested in some new skincare, particularly Earthwise Beauty. I have a big order of teas and a re-up of Nap in the Meadow on its way to me. And then I'm also going to be placing a Beauty Heroes order because I need to restock on a couple things. I have been meaning to do that for months. As far as other announcements before we get into today, I've decided that I'm going to do another 30-day console wand challenge. So for the month of September, I'm going to be doing a nightly console wand routine. And I also want to use it as a way to advertise and kind of keep reminding people of this campaign push that I'm doing around getting to 199 patrons on patreon.com/LamourEtLaMusique. Once I get to 199 patrons, I'm going to be providing full transcripts of every podcast episode just to increase accessibility of the podcast. And also I think it's useful to have a transcript for you to word search and refer back to things that you may have listened to. I feel really strongly that a full transcript should accompany the episodes, but it's another financial investment. I'm already paying my audio engineer, so I'm going to be pushing myself to do a regular call to action here on YouTube, on Instagram, on the podcast to really try and get to that number. So I'm around 30 to 35 patrons short of that goal. But I'm hoping throughout the month of September that I can compel people to hop over to Patreon. The lowest tier of support is just $3 a month. The reason that I'm on Patreon is because I don't do any sponsored work. So it's a way for me to fund the work that I do, put money back into it. Your support would just mean everything. I'm so thankful for the people that are over there. There's so much extra content, and I'll be highlighting some of that for people that are interested in that. Patreon is also coming out with some new features, like you can now do an annual membership instead of month by month. And then for people that aren't interested in a month by month option, I'm also thinking of ways, I think I told you this in the last video, I'm also thinking of ways to create niche content using kind of a different standalone funding model, but I'm still kind of working that out. I basically don't have enough hours in the day to work on everything I want to work on right now, but I will get there. Slow and steady, I'm plodding along, working late at night, intensively parenting my toddler, and just trying to keep it together. So if you'd like to learn more and sign up to support L'Amour et la Musique and Your Purpose is Beauty, patreon.com/L'Amour et la Musique. Everything is pretty clear over there, but if you ever have questions, you can always ask. You can either DM me on Instagram or email me, lamourelamusique@gmail.com. Enough plugging and announcements. Let's dive into talking about Pink Moon. I spent a couple of days going through the brands on Pink Moon's website and putting a little cart together. So there were brands that I recognized and brands that were new to me. So first of all, comes with a nice little handmade note signed by Lynn. You'll get, if you listen to the podcast conversation with her that's coming out soon or is already out at the time you're seeing this, you get to hear a bit about the inner machinations. She has like a very small team, and it's just a company that I feel like I really appreciate the vision that she's putting out in the world. And more I'm moving away from the big eco beauty boutiques like Detox Market and Credo, and I feel more in alignment with something like Pink Moon. Okay, so the first thing is a company called, I think it's Relato Novato. It's a Mexican company, I want to say based in Oaxaca, if I remember correctly, and she carries quite a few products from this brand. I just decided to try a soap. I've been really into artisanal soaps lately. This is the Mamey Puro, M-A-M-E-Y, which is a plant that's indigenous to Mexico and I guess has a long history of artisanal soap making in Mexico. Yeah, it smells just kind of like a traditional, it has that kind of traditional soapy scent. So I'll probably just be cutting off chunks of this and keeping it in my shower. It's just supposed to be really excellent for sensitive skin. And I find that a lot of these artisanally made bar soaps, like the LAMOUR Mongolia soaps, for example, they just tend to be so much more gentle than a lot of even the eco body wash type of products. I don't know if I've ever really seen a company, a Mexican company highlighted in eco beauty, so obviously that's half of my ethnicity. My mother is Mexican American, so very in support of that. Now, to that end, I also decided to try this company called Mint. It's called the Do All Wash, but it's meant to be a shampoo, face and body cleanser, and it's scented with bergamot and grapefruit. So I still have not really found a perfect body wash that I don't know, body wash is such a complicated category for me. It smells kind of smells like Coca-Cola. But yeah, I can definitely smell sort of the citrus note. So this will be a nice companion to the bar soap. So I have some new shower products. I primarily got this to try as a body wash, but I'm not opposed to trying it as a shampoo because I'm definitely in need of some new shampoo and conditioners. I'm probably going to be repurchasing True Botanicals because I really like that duo. And then I'm thinking about High Bar for a shampoo bar option. Okay, this was a little splurgy, but I remember trying this product way kind of in the beginning of my eco beauty days, or maybe like after I had started my YouTube channel. So maybe 2015, I had first tried a sample of Moss's Beurre Celeste honey infused rinseable cleansing balm. Now it's quite possible this product has been reformulated over the years. Moss is a very small niche skincare brand, very few products in the range. At least I think the brand has kind of had stops and starts. They've been out there. The founder has had to step aside for periods of time. I think her name is Celestina, but she's been around in eco beauty for quite a long time, very geared towards acne healing and acne management. Some of the products are really expensive, but I had always loved this product. I had tried samples of it, like someone had given me a really generous sample of it. I just had tried it on several occasions and I was so impressed at how fast acting it was. Now typically I really do not like rinseable cleansing products, whether it's a balm or an oil. I will probably try this as a second cleanse after a traditional oil cleanse. However, when it's like a honey-based rinseable, I feel like the honey-based masks that I have are naturally rinseable for the most part. I'm thinking, for example, of Leilani Melly Glow. I love putting a really thick layer of that all over my face and soaking in the tub for 30 minutes, and it rinses off like perfectly. It's not difficult to get off at all. And that's not marketed as rinseable. So this just could be kind of like naturally rinseable. Anyway, long story short, I'm excited. Pink Moon carries this company called Ellie Organic Toys, and I couldn't resist getting one. They're kind of like an all organic textile baby or children's toy. So they do a giraffe, which is the one I got. They do a unicorn, maybe an elephant, and there's like 4 or 5. I just think it's really sweet. I mean, baby LAMOUR loves animals so much. So I just thought this was really, really cute. It would make a really, really nice gift for an expectant mother in your life. 2 other things I got for the baby. This is the company Vivio Days, I think. Organic World Secrets for Baby and Kid, and this is the Saponoria No Tears Wash and Shampoo. Ultra mild and multitasking organic baby wash and shampoo, effectively cleans skin and tames hair. Unique combo of glucosides and saponin-rich organic soapwort extract, traditionally used in Old England for bathing, creates happy, tearless, dirt-free bathing experience. So I'm very, very dedicated to Babo Botanicals for bath time. I use one of the sensitive washes for hair. It comes in a pump, and then I've also been sharing about my love for the, I think it's chamomile and calendula bubble bath, also by Babo, but I'm totally down to try something else. I was also kind of a sucker for the packaging. I thought it looked really beautiful. The baby takes a bath every night, so we'll undoubtedly use that. And my baby is currently 21 months old, will be 2 years old in the beginning of November. I mean, cue a first-time parent saying, oh my God, where is the time going? Because it's like pretty crazy. So we got in the habit of brushing teeth just with water or like a damp toothbrush, probably around 10 or 11 months. Baby LAMOUR got teeth pretty early, started teething at 5 months and had quite a few teeth by a year. So we've always been in the habit, but you're not supposed to introduce toothpaste until closer to 2, until they actually can kind of get the idea of spitting something out. But we're kind of getting there. So I decided to try this Risewell mineral toothpaste specifically formulated for kids. It is fluoride free, which is important to me, and it doesn't have like any weird like sugars or anything in it. It tastes like sneaking spoonfuls of cake batter straight out of the mixing bowl. So it has vanilla. It's like a vanilla flavor. Our goal is to give your kids a toothpaste that is as effective as chemical toothpastes. Silica is the first ingredient. Yeah, so I just thought that this would be like a good first one to try. We're going to need one. Actually, I'm going to keep it sealed because I'm still not going to try for a couple of months. But yeah, very excited to see that they carry this. Now, I did also get a couple of samples. I got a sample of the Momi Styling Jelly, which I love this product so much. I've been using it for years. Just a little pump of it kind of like through the ends of your hair if you let your hair kind of naturally air dry. I don't know. It's just super, super, super nice. So I've been dedicated to this product for a really long time. I also really like the Momi dry shampoo. She carries Momi as well as Earthwise, as well as Activist. So many good brands on the site. So I got some samples of the Malaya Organics Herbal Facial Polish. You know who talked about this on the podcast was Diane from Modern Minerals. She was the very first interview on the podcast. I think it's episode 3 or 4 or 2. I'll have it in the description box. She uses this product all the time and really, really likes it. I think it's also been featured in past Box Swalla Box. Activist Collective Sea to Skin Cleansing Gel. Allison Calloway, the person behind Activist, is a personal friend of mine. Her products are great. I've tried so many of them. Kind of has that like cucumber melon sort of scent. Really refreshing on the skin. Rinses clean. I've gone through, or definitely, I think I even have an open jar of this somewhere. And then the Relato Novato Concentration Blend Oil. So this might be an essential oil blend type of product. Separately, I had received a PR bottle of the Pink Moon Lunar Gua Sha drops, I think they're called. I forget. It has like a couple different names, but it's this really beautiful oil, facial oil that you're meant to do with gua sha. I've talked about it, I think, on the podcast, and they also sell their own gua sha stone that has Pink Moon. What is this called? Engraved. This is quite similar in shape to another rose quartz gua sha stone I have. I'm bringing this up because if you go listen to the podcast, there's a special gift with purchase going on for Your Purpose is Beauty listeners where I think it's $125 orders and above get a free one of these. And then every order that uses the code, I think the code will be LAMOUR, will get a sample of that beauty oil, which is handcrafted by Lynn. It's small, micro batch made. I use it. I love it. In fact, I used it in that skincare routine video that I did demoing the new Ayuna Velo relaunch. I had used the Pink Moon Lunar Drops underneath. Really great oil to do gua sha with. So that's just a nice little gift with purchase going on. So then if you do decide to use the code LAMOUR and get all these extra perks, 10% of your order will be donated to the License Center. So the official name for this organization is the License Center for Civic, Agriculture, and Food Systems, and it's housed within a 501c3 independent nonprofit called the Center for Transformative Action, which is a partner of Cornell University. So for anybody that doesn't know, my late father was a professor of rural sociology at Cornell from 1987 until his death in 2006, and during that time he was a big pioneer for creating a more cohesive community-based food system model, and also a local and regional sustainable agriculture model. He wrote a book called Civic Agriculture. I meant to grab it because I have a copy, and it's a text that's used in a lot of college level sustainable agriculture or food systems research courses. And it's really meaningful to myself and my mom and my sister that his research legacy is being carried on. So a couple of things that your money and donation would go to. The License Center puts out an open access journal, academic journal. It's called the Journal of Agriculture, Food Systems, and Community Development. And what open access means is that anybody, anywhere in the world can access this journal for free. Most of the time with academic publications, you have to have an institutional membership. Say you're a student or faculty or somehow affiliated with a university or a college, you would then be able to access academic journals, but otherwise you have to pay. So anyone can go onto the journal's website and browse every issue and article that has ever been published. It's really geared towards people that are working kind of on the ground in food systems research, food systems activism. The License Center also sponsors a project called the North American Food Systems Network, I think. And what this is a hub for scholars, researchers, professionals, activists, students, job seekers in, again, these research areas of sustainable ag and food systems. And I was on the website looking. There's just a lot of resources. There's job resources, training resources, networking resources, community activism resources. Of course, this is a mission that's very near and dear to my heart, but I also do think, and you know, if you have any interest in the work of Zach Bush, I talk about him a lot. He's another big activist around regenerative agriculture. And this is just such an important time for everybody to really be evaluating their relationship to agriculture, to food systems, to the environment, where I think regardless of how you feel about what's going on in the world, there's a lot of precariousness and a lot of emphasis, at least in the online circles that I run in, around not like just self-reliance or self-resiliency, but community resiliency. So it's not just being like your own urban homesteader, your own backyard gardener, but how can you get involved in a community sense so that your community is better able to focus on creating a local and then regional food system? I will always support the License Center. I have been making quarterly donations to them for many years and will continue to do so. But if there's any opportunity to bring awareness to the work that they're doing, you know, the work that Zach Bush is doing. His nonprofit is called Farmer's Footprint, which would be another good organization to go check out. I feel very passionately about this, and I think if you just use my code LAMOUR, that 10% of your order will be donated to support this work. And I and my family thank you so much if you choose to do so. Okay, now back to a little beauty chat. So like I said, in Fiore had a gift with purchase at the end of, I'm pretty sure it was the end of June. And I had posted about it briefly, and I had several people contact me and say, oh my gosh, like I totally missed that In Fiore had a gift with purchase. Like, how do I find out? All you have to do is sign up for their newsletter. I think it's just infiore.net, sign up for their newsletter, and you'll find out every time they have a gift with purchase. In Fiore is not as big on social media promotion, which I actually really appreciate. But the gift with purchase was with an order minimum, you get a full size of Vitale. So it was really good timing for me because I've been in need of toning products. I've used this before. It actually used to be in a different kind of dispenser. It's now in a spritz, but it used to be in a pump, like how the botanical waters are currently in a pump. So I'm finishing up Transparent's botanical water, and I have like maybe that much left of my Transparents. Once I'm done, I will switch over to Vitale. I haven't used this in a really long time. To me, it's just like quintessential green beauty. I discovered this product in like 2014 or 2015. It gets used in the facials that I've had at International Orange. So the products I purchased to get that thrown into my order were another Solution Botanic. This time I went for Fermante. So I finished a full bottle of the Calendula Solution Botanic, and it's a very special product. I actually pulled this out of my bathroom because, as you can see, I've been using it. Fermante Elevating Leg Tonic. So this is meant to be used on the lower half of your body, and it's really about stimulating lymph movement, moving stagnation. It has things like horsetail, comfrey, alfalfa, red clover, dandelion. I mean, these like really, really kind of like potent, powerful herbs. It is contraindicated during pregnancy. Just be forewarned of that. But I use the Mythic Medicine St. John's Wort oil on my upper half, and then this massaged into the lower half pretty much every night. I use a full dropper full on each leg. It's like the perfect end to my day. These are such an indulgent treat, but just a really, really beautiful experience. If you're a true enthusiast, beauty enthusiast, they're definitely worth it. And then I'm almost done with Salvatage. It's a serum that's part of Infiore's Made in Japan range, as is the product I got to replace it, Raffermissant Fleur. And I'm not actually entirely sure how the two differ. The thing I really like about the Made in Japan range is that the expiration dates are pretty distal, so they're not going to expire. You don't have to use them even within the first year. So the best used by date here is October of 2022. So I appreciate that because I'm always trying so much stuff. But this is a similar serum type product. So this was recommended to me actually by the last International Orange facial I had. So I'll report back once I try it and learn a little bit more. I'm actually getting ready to probably do a skincare empties on the podcast. However, I'm going to extract out my empty in Fiore and tackle that somewhere else special, like in a special way. I don't know if it'll be on the podcast or on video, but I get a lot of questions about how to navigate in Fiore. So I think it's kind of a little bit of an intimidating brand. I'm sure also because the price point is so high, and so people need a little bit of guidance. So I could take that as an opportunity. I mean, I've done like a bunch of petit conseils for people on Patreon about this, people who are interested in the brand and kind of want to know where to start. So I would be happy to share as part of, it's basically like an In Fiore review type of video. Okay, next I got a new book on the recommendation of my longtime primary acupuncturist in Providence, Rhode Island, Yvette. We talk about acupuncture, Chinese medicine, holistic health, flower essences, nutrition, all the time. She's like one of my most trusted health resources, and she told me about this book. I think he's a friend of hers, the author. Andrew Sturman wrote 2 books called A Welcoming Food. I just got the first one, but it's Diet as Medicine for Home Cooks and Other Healers. Book 1 is The Energetics of Food and Healing. So it's not really a cookbook. It's like just a nutrition book. So I'm so interested in this. For a long time, she always recommended Paul Pitchford's Healing with Whole Foods, which I may have a copy of, but if I don't, I would definitely add it to my library. But that's very much nutrition from a Chinese medicine perspective. So from Yvette, I just learned so much about traditional foods, Weston A. Price philosophy, and then, you know, Chinese medicine tenets to proper nutrition. So I kind of do a mishmash of those two things. I finally went back to my acupuncturist after 6 months, and I'm just seeing really good results. I started taking some Chinese herbal formulas again and kind of trying to get that to cohere with my interest in Western herbalism. So to that end, I just placed a Mountain Rose Herbs order, and I got some organic oat straw. This is just a 4-ounce bag of this. So oat straw gets talked about a lot when people talk about doing overnight infusions. Nettle and oat straw is a really, really common one. So I just got some to experiment with. It's another nervine. Sometimes a single infusion, especially with nettle can be quite dry. It has like a dry tendency. So if you want something a little bit more moistening, something like oat straw can counteract it. Again, that's all learning about the energetics of herbs. And that's something I'm very much a student of, very much learning, but just so fascinated with and very interested in. So I got some oat straw. I also got some Astragalus Root. Now, initially I wanted to get just like they come as like, they look like little, it looks like ginger root almost, but it's like a dried stick kind of. And Astragalus is so many things. I have just a very cursory, superficial understanding of it. But so many herbalists that I follow talk about Astragalus. So I think it's a really good herb to have around. And when you get the actual root and you don't get it in like a powdered capsule form, which I know some people do, they'll break the capsules open into tea. But I wanted to have some actual root around to either work into decoctions. So a decoction is when you simmer herbs in water for a period of time, which is different than an infusion or a steeping. So initially I wanted to get the longer pieces, but they had been out of stock for so long. So I just decided to get some of this like little kind. And then I just had to place another order because there was an essential oil that I wanted to have on hand for a winter immunity home apothecary kit that I'm prepping. If you want to hear more about that, I'm following Stephen Herod Buhner's protocol for, I guess it's technically for CV, but really kind of any lung issues. So I got bay laurel essential oil, which can be really, really good to do a steam with if you are having lung congestion. And so they had some of the bigger pieces of astragalus in stock. So I got some of that, and Ava from Earthwise Beauty, who's another person whose knowledge I just drink up. She's so knowledgeable about Chinese and Western herbalism. And she said that she will often put one of those bigger pieces of astragalus into like a pot of beans or a soup. It's safe for children to have, and it doesn't really, I think it imparts like a very mild sweetness maybe, but I'm going to experiment with that. I just placed a huge order from Rancho Gordo, who's an heirloom bean company, because I have been craving pinto beans, which are an ancestral food for me personally on my maternal side. So I got a whole bunch of heirloom beans to try. Yeah, I really want to do more legumes, I think, too, moving into fall. And if any of you watching are more experienced herbalists, tell me what I can do with these little pieces. I think they're well suited for a stovetop decoction as like a tea, but let me know. Okay, and then I also got 2 teas, and actually the impetus for this was the chamomile. I probably would have preferred to get the Earthwise chamomile, but this one actually looks pretty good. They are whole chamomile buds. It does get kind of like a little bit powdered. I just think chamomile is a really wonderful herb to have on hand when I was experiencing a little bit of heartburn last month, which has since resolved actually through acupuncture and some of the Chinese herbs I'm taking. Chamomile can be quite good if you're having like stomach spasms or heartburn. It's just very, very calming, and I think it's a good one to have around. And then this just looked interesting. Winter Spice Loose Leaf Tea from Mountain Rose Herbs. So this is Eleuthero root, which I believe is ginseng. Looks like this. I love these kind of like nut, like they almost look like sticks and berries type of teas. I'm obsessed with these. So Eleuthero root, which I think is ginseng, cassia cinnamon chips, roasted dandelion. This has astragalus in it, orange peel, ginger, roasted chicory, licorice root, cardamom seeds, and cloves. It just spoke to me. I just had to have it. And so I think you probably prepare this like a decoction. It says this warming decoction is rooty and robust with zesty aromatic spices, caffeine free. Place 1 tablespoon of herb blend in a saucepan, cover with 8 fluid ounces of water, simmer 10 to 12 minutes. You can do more than that depending on how strong you want it, and you can often re-decoct things like this. I've been doing a lot of decoctions with the Earthwise Beauty Revered Berries tea, which is a blend of schizandra, rosehip, goji, and elderberries. It's a warming winter tea, but I have been very, very liver depleted, blood deficient in Chinese medicine terms because of intensive parenting, postpartum rebuilding, and then I've also been under just a lot of emotional stress. It's just if you're very, very depleted, something that's categorized more as like a winter warming building type of tea is good kind of year round if you're very depleted. So that's kind of where I'm at. Oh God, it's like so fun to do herb talk. I haven't really done much of it on my channel, but it's obviously like a new, within the last year, burgeoning interest of mine. I actually did a whole video on Patreon last month, which was more about my foray into herbalism. I was in my kitchen. I went through my books that I've been referring to, some of the herbs I take, like how I store them, spices, all of that kind of thing. And I did a tour of our garden. Please be on the lookout for two big things coming up from me. Earthwise Beauty review, in-depth review of the 5 oils in their range, potentially 6 because I may include the Passion Eye Serum, which is also an oil. That's coming up. And then my 2019 A Night for Green Beauty Awards independent review will be coming up. I have now reached out twice to A Night for Green Beauty / Victoria of La Bella Figura and have gotten no response about my inquiry into any information she wants to tell me about them. So that's fine. I'm just going to kind of go rogue and go based on things that I've heard about how that list was created, share my thoughts on the award winners. I did find some new favorites. There were a couple of disappointments. So those are the two big projects I'm working on right now. On Patreon this month for August, I think a lot of you will like this, I'm doing a full Earthwise Beauty skincare routine with all the bells and whistles. I'm doing a double cleanse, I'm doing a steam, I'm doing a mask, I'm doing treatment, I'm talking through some of my favorite combinations. It's going to be a whole thing. So I hope that you will come check it out. Help me get to my goal of 199 patrons to help me start providing podcast transcripts. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to say hi in the comments, any questions you have. I do my best to get back to you. Not always as timely as I would like, but I'm trying. Thank you guys so much for the support and love, and I'll talk to you soon.